Good morning, and welcome to your morning cereal. Okay, good morning, and welcome to Thursday. Hey, let me ask you if you know who Ken Carson is. I think you likely do know who Ken Carson is, but you may not know that Carson was his last name. Well, I'll help you out. Today is National Ken Day. It's Barbie's Ken Carson. Well, anyways, he stood by Barbie's side for 65 years now, through all of their ups and their downs. I mean, Barbie seems to have had a new career every time I turn around, and that can't be easy for Ken. So happy Ken Day, Ken, and to the other Kens out there as well. Well, it's also National Popcorn Lovers Day, and my oldest son will love that fact. And it's also National Good Samaritan Day. So get out there and do some good. Well, speaking of Barbie and strong women, today's quote is from another strong woman. It's the icon Cher, who said, quote, "Until you're ready to look foolish, you'll never have the possibility of being great," end quote. And you have to be willing to put yourself out there, sometimes even in an uncomfortable way. But by pushing yourself to do it bigger and better, that is the only way that you're going to grow in your personal and professional life. All right, well, today's news facts and birthdays are for March 13th. On this date back in 1781, English astronomer William Herschel, he discovered the planet Uranus. He actually thought it was a comet, perhaps, and he named it after the father of the god Saturn, Uranus. Then on this date in 1877, American Chester Greenwood, he patented the earmuffs after inventing them at the age of 15. Then in 2004, on this date, Luciano Pavarotti, he performed in his final opera at the New York Metropolitan Opera. And then finally in 2012, a sad day, the Encyclopedia Britannica announced that it was ceasing publication of its print version. It was the oldest and the longest continually published English language general print encyclopedia. Well, I guess it's one of those things that we can add to the list of items that our generation can say, do you remember when we used to do this or we used to have that? It's kind of fun to reminisce on those nostalgic items. Well, happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. You share a birthday with J.P. Morgan Bank CEO Jamie Dimon, he's 69, and actor William H. Macy, he's 75. Well, the number one movie on this date back in 2004 was Passion of the Christ. And I know Easter is not until late April this year, but the movie depicting the events leading up to Easter in a very realistic way, well, this was the number one movie this week back in 2004. And at the time, it was the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. And interestingly, the actor that played Jesus, he was literally hit by lightning while filming the scene of the Sermon on the Mount. Pretty crazy. I remember hearing about it at the time. And the number one song on this date back in 1999 was Believe by Cher. Now, the song Believe broke Cher's 25-year dry spell between number one hits, with her last number one hit coming in 1974 with the song Dark Lady. The song Believe has a dance pop sound to it, and it helped usher in the new era of auto-tune. And if you were one of my roommates back in 1999 when this song was number one, we would have been in Fort Collins, Colorado, then you probably woke up to me way overplaying this song every single morning. My apologies, everybody. But it was just so good, and I did believe. Well, I believe it's time to get you prepared to move on to this Thursday, and I'll do it with my takeaways from Chapter 3 of Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in this chapter entitled, Talk About Your Own Mistakes First, Carnegie is not metaphorically speaking here. Carnegie is telling us to talk about our mistakes first, finding the right mixture of humility and praise that together can, quote, work veritable miracles in human relations, end quote. And Carnegie continues by saying, quote, admitting one's own mistakes, even when one hasn't corrected them, can help convince somebody to change his or her behavior, end quote. In life, inevitably, we have to have difficult conversations. And the best leaders among us, and whether it be in social situations with your family or in business, the best leaders use Carnegie's principle number 3, which is to talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Well, I hope you're not having to have any difficult conversations today, but if you do, just do your best and know that it will be enough. Did you see what I did there? All right. Thanks for joining us today. Come back tomorrow and have a fantastic day. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Morning Serial podcast on the One Life Live It channel. You can find more episodes and videos by visiting our YouTube channel and the website at Sean Inglis and at SeanInglis.com, where you can also follow our other podcasts, the Mr. and Mrs. Inglis podcast and the Life Happens podcast. In these other podcasts, we'll dive deeper into everyday issues, self-improvement and well-being, business and finance, and we welcome special guests too. So join us. It'll be a good time, I promise. Thanks again for listening. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.